How's it going? This is a message for Anthony from Eric Bauza, the voice behind some of your favorite classic Looney Tunes characters.
Me. What's up, Anthony? Ain't I a stinker? Woohoo! Woohoo! It's me, Daffy Duck, the biggest star to ever enter Cameo.
I heard that you have been on this epic journey of doing educational tracks for 1,000 Looney Tune shorts. Is that right? Unbelievable, man. And I really hope that you continue the rest of the journey because much like yourself, I love Looney Tunes and I love spreading the joy and spreading awareness of these beloved characters to the masses. And I mean, these characters are over 80 years old now. And to know that people like yourself, people like me are on this journey of spreading the joy of Looney Tunes to people is amazing.
And I hope that your eyeballs get a rest from watching all those cartoons, because trust me, Doc, there's a lot. And you know what helps with eyes and vision? Carrots, Doc.
Anyways, Anthony, best of luck on the rest of your journey with this project of yours. Thank you so much for all of your support. And
that's all, folks.
Hey Anthony, just wanted to say congratulations on 500 videos. This is an amazing milestone. And it was a pleasure having you on the podcast, and I can't wait to talk Looney Tunes with you more. And yeah, so just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job out there, and it's so exciting to see such reverence given to these shorts. So keep up the good work.
She's a daughter of Rosie O'Grady, a regular old-fashioned Goyle.
You're in a very jovial, sing-songy mood.
That's right, Doc.
Why is that?
Well, you see, Anthony's animation talk, this is its 500th video, I suppose.
Remember when I did my 500th video?
That's impossible, Doc. You don't even have 400.
Wow.
Yeah, he's making you look like a slacker.
Well, Anthony, here's to 500 more from me, the Looney Tunes critic. I don't have anything else to say, so now you should cut to Matt Hunter.
Oh, hey, Anthony. I just want to stop by and wish you good luck on the next 500 Looney Tunes cartoons. Keep them coming, brother. I love them. And I was very happy to be a part of some of these reviews that you've done, and hopefully YouTube will get their act together and let you show some of those again, or at least they put them somewhere else where people can enjoy them. It's a resource that really a lot of people enjoy. And good night, mate.
Hello and welcome to another Looney Tunes review video. If this is your first time on the channel, consider subscribing as it helps out the channel, and give this video a like if you do like it. So this is a review for Easter Eggs, released on the 28th of June 1947, and it's the 500th in the series. So you can imagine we'll be celebrating here, and it's directed by Bob Kimson. And because I can't show you the cartoon due to copyright, your best bet to watch this short is on the Golden Collection Volume 3 and on the Platinum Collection Volume 3 set, and I'll have links below. I think it's also on HBO Max too, so plenty of ways to watch it at least. And once again, because I can't show you the cartoon, just a brief synopsis in case you haven't seen it. So the lazy Easter Bunny convinces Bugs to take over as the Easter Bunny for this year, but Bugs realizes that being the Easter Bunny is not what it's cracked up to be when he encounters a really annoying kid and Elmer Fudd, who really wants rabbit stew. So with me today to celebrate number 500 is my good friend Keith Scott. Say hi.
Hey Anthony, how are you?
Well, you know, I feel like I run a marathon, you know, it's 500, I'm still halfway, still.
Yeah, it's a long series.
Yes, yes, indeed. So, you know, and there's a reason I got you on here too, because of the radio references, and of course get into. So just one bit of trivia, I guess. This is the first Bugs and Elmer short to be directed by Bob Kimson. You know, first of quite a few he did over a long period of time at the studio.
Yes, I think he'd only been directing for about half a year
by this point. Yeah, yeah, thereabouts. Yeah, exactly. And we can also see in the Bugs design that he's slowly getting to be towards that plump Bugs Bunny that was in the late 40s.
A couple more years, and he was kind of an unattractive Bugs for several films, and I think it was a designer named Gene Blanchard who was responsible for what they call the squat Bugs.
Yeah. And I actually don't mind that design myself, but that's just because I've watched those shorts so many times. I guess I'm just kind of used to it for sure. And now this other bit of trivia, I'm sort of feeling like a student here, and you're like got a clipboard with the red texter, in case I get something wrong here. But so from what I've researched, and you can elaborate further for us, it's about the Easter Bunny's mannerisms, which even if you don't get the joke, it's still pretty darn funny. But it's based off of Mel Blanc's character, the Happy Postman.
Every year I get some dumb bunny to do my work for me.
Yes.
Did I get that right?
That is exactly right, and it's amazing to me that some of his other radio characters weren't done in the same fashion in cartoon form at least once. But this was a character that Mel Blanc was nationally famous for in 1947 when the cartoon was released. He'd been doing this character each week on the George Burns and Gracie Allen radio comedy show since 1941. So the national American audience would have immediately seen this cartoon and laughed out loud because it had not only the same voice as this always unhappy Happy Postman, but it even used one of his expressions each week. He said this in the radio show when he was saying goodbye for his weekly cameo. He was always miserable about something, hence the nickname, the Happy Postman.
Yes.
And as he says in the cartoon to Bugs, he would always say to Gracie Allen, "Well, goodbye, Mrs. Burns, and remember, keep smiling."
I love it.
So that was the running gag, or not a running gag, but rather the gag of this cartoon, was that it suddenly brought out one of these very famous radio... Don't forget, for the younger members of your audience, no television back in those days. The only visual experience each week was a trip to the movies in the big movie houses back then. So radio was the home entertainment in those days. Situation comedies and thrillers and westerns and whatever. And many of them that ran for years, such as Burns and Allen and Jack Benny, were often satirized in the cartoons, but not so directly as just having an exact model of the radio character like this. See, in the Judy Canova show, which was one of Mel Blanc's other weekly jobs for many, many years on radio, some of these shows ran as television shows do today for many seasons. The Judy Canova show, he did a character that was called Sylvester, and that name was then appropriated for the cartoon cat, because Sylvester, but it actually sounded more like Daffy Duck, energy level-wise, talking to Judy Canova, but called Sylvester. And the term suffering succotash, you'll notice, is said about 3 times in some of the cartoons you've already covered up to date, where they were getting that from the weekly radio show. It was used each week. Suffering succotash! And of course the audience had laughed because he really spat it out, the live studio audience watching Mel doing this,
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, and I know what a lot of people also don't realize today is that some shows even started out in radio, and then once television became big,
they did a TV version. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Like
well,
I think Jack
Burns and Allen had another 10 years on television, as did Jack Benny. And so many others, but especially those two because they were such famous comedians and so well loved by the millions in the American public,
Exactly right, and it's just,
Well, I mean, look at the later Looney Tune to come in your long survey, The Mouse That Jack Built, where they got Jack Benny and his team on camera for the cartoon.
Exactly, yeah. And so it's one of my favorite of the late McKimsons. I actually can't wait to get to that one. That would be
Bob
really good one.
McKimson was a particular fan of radio comedy. I remember a couple of different interviews I've read of his where he spoke to Warren Foster about Foghorn Leghorn, saying he was doing a rooster story that Foster had come up with, and McKimson suggested the voice of the voice that became Foghorn Leghorn's voice. He also was the first one to use Jim Backus and various radio comics in cartoons. Sheldon Leonard, Jim Backus. He used Jim Backus in Aladdin His Lamp, which you'll get to soon.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm rambling because I know
No. This is number 500. You got to do something special for number 500. That's for sure. And the next one is Crowing Pain. So yeah, as you said, the Foghorn Leghorn reference. Yeah. As for the short itself, because we've obviously gone on with the radio part, what are your thoughts on the short itself?
I really enjoyed it, to be honest. It's hard because I had all that knowledge for years, even before I ever saw it. I'd heard the Happy Postman for a lot of years as a collector of old-time radio, so I'm looking at it from that point of view, that I'm amused by it. But then again, I mean, now that we've got the ability to see so many in HD, they really make you appreciate the artistry of people like Dick Thomas, the background guy. I mean, it's a pretty cartoon to look at.
Yeah.
It's got some great musical bits. And what I find interesting about this cartoon is that McKimson, being a relatively new director, almost seemed to be reusing things that he had enjoyed in some of the work he had either worked on himself as an animator or had just seen in the studio. The young kid who's the real brat in this cartoon, to me, resembles the much more crazed kid in Brother Brat, the Tashlin from 3 years earlier. And then there's also another very quick throwaway shot where these menacing goons with guns suddenly appear, and it's like the villains in the Great Piggy Bank Robbery.
Yes, those hillbilly type, or
yes.
what? So,
and I think again it's another nice chapter in the suddenly to go from the subplot or the main plot of the Easter Bunny. And suddenly we're into Elmer Fudd with his gun again. He's the crazy Elmer who starts out gentle. I'm waiting for the Easter rabbit. And then suddenly he's got his gun and he's going crazy again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, one of the funnier things I find, having watched a lot of these shorts, is just the inconsistency between the studios, where there's one throwaway line in a Chuck Jones short where he goes, I'm a vegetarian, I just hunt for the sport of it. And this one, he wants rabbit stew. So it's, it's
And of course, and they do revive ever since Porky's hare hunt.
Of course, this means war.
Of course, that this means war.
I think Bugs Hardaway used that way back in Porky's hare hunt.
Yes.
The line that Groucho had said, I think, in Duck Soup, or one of the early Marx Brothers films.
Which I think even Hardaway himself, I think he voiced that one little bit.
He did, yes. Yeah.
See, I'm learning stuff. See, some of it is sticking in my brain. Thank goodness.
but this, I think, was maybe I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's the first reuse of that. And then Chuck Jones started using it on a regular basis in things like Long-Haired Hare and Bully for Bugs.
Yeah. Oh, actually, he said it. Of course, this means war. In that short with the magician.
He did.
Yes,
that was Chuck Jones. Yeah. The case of the missing hair.
Of course you realize this means war.
I also want to give a shout out to Devin Baxter, because his article, which I'm going to put in the link below, he's gone through this short in such amazing detail, and there's even a sample of Mel Blanc's Happy Postman in there too. So
yes.
If people want to sort of hear it for themselves, it's readily accessible. So definitely big shout out there. And there's even an animated breakdown there based on a breakdown sheet that I would love to see a book at some point with every single Looney Tunes having that amount of research on each page.
I know.
That would
it's been a dream of mine. I think it's been a dream of Jerry's, to be honest. I mean, I helped him out with that 100 Greatest Looney Tunes Cartoons book.
Yeah. He told me himself he'd like to do that, and I mean, I guess it's no real secret because that thing would probably sell like gangbusters, I would think. But I'll give also my thoughts on this short too, because obviously, I'll be looking at all of these. I mean, this is, for me, it's like an Easter staple. This one is such a good short, and as I said before, even if you don't know who this Happy Postman character was, it's still so funny, and that's why a lot of these early shorts work so well. You don't need to know the references to get the jokes most of the time. Sometimes, you might not understand it, like in Racketeer Rabbit when Bugs says, sounds like Inner Sanctum.
Sounds like Inner Sanctum.
Who knows what Inner Sanctum is? I mean, I do now, but, sometimes things will go over people's heads. But for the Happy Postman character here, with the Easter Bunny, classic. Absolutely love it. Absolutely.
I have noticed also, as you say, Inner Sanctum, in just the last couple of years, almost anything that is a query to a younger viewer can almost be Googled now, and there'll be a short or a long answer about it.
Exactly.
There's an amazing amount of more obscure stuff has finally entered Wikipedia and places like that, which will at least give you a little background on what you find
just
alien.
What is Inner Sanctum, and that should show up what what it is. But no, this short is absolutely amazing. And before we get into the 500th stuff, what would you rank this one out of 10?
Oh, I'd give this one at least a 7.
Yeah,
maybe an 8, because I don't see too many problems with this one at all.
Yeah,
I think I like even a couple of the little subtle things, like after helping the Easter rabbit, for maybe the second or third time, Bugs has got the little basket in his hand and he's running, but this time he looks really angry and he's got a very knitted brows and here's the Easter rabbit. You know, you can tell he's really wished he had never said yes.
Exactly right. And, you know, I always also admire shorts that have, I suppose, 2 or even a little bit more shorts within, similar to Corny Concerto in that way. And this one almost does that. You've got the short, you know, with the kid, and then you got the Alma stuff with the framing device around, and even a callback to the kid at the very end where he's like, "Oh no!" And he
slams surprising. It was surprising that those 4 individual characters are in this, because the first time I saw this, I always thought it was going to be just Bugs and the Easter Rabbit, you know, for 7 minutes.
Yeah, but it ends up being a lot more, of course, and it's just insane. So, and what is insane? Well, just wanted to give everyone a very special little message here, because number 500, as I keep pointing out, in this amazing journey, I feel like I'm in the middle of a marathon going through all these. And yes, while I've had to take down a lot of the commentaries due to, you know, legal things with Warner Brothers, it's still something very special. Starting this series and reaching up to this point, you know, it feels like when you're going through all the buddy shorts, you're not going to reach in the good stuff. You just sort of like, it's like,
well, you're in the happier period of Warner Brothers from this point on, anyway. You know.
Oh, exactly. I mean, and I'm sure we can agree that even the lousy Daffy and Speedy shorts of the 60s, you know, at least they're kind of watchable.
They're to come.
Yeah.
But no, this golden period of the 40s, you'll be living in this for a couple more years, I'd say. Into the golden period of the 50s before it starts to go downhill due to shrinking budgets and various other, the encroachment of television.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of it, sadly, with McKimson, you know, his latest stuff tends to get a lot of flack.
There's always something about the cartoons that's worth watching artistically.
Exactly.
But, you know, it's just McKimson, I think, it's my own opinion. I just think he's sometimes underrated. He did a lot of experimenting, you know, Dodsworth and...
Bartholomew versus the Wheel. That's a great one.
In the later years, yes. And even the first Speedy, before it looked like Speedy Gonzales.
And here are some more happy 500th messages from some of my friends and some of the people I've worked with, or both. First up is my good friend Fox in a Fix, who's been with me on a few videos and has been my friend since the early days of this channel.
Anthony, my friend, congratulations, or like the Dutch say, van harte gefeliciteerd on your 500 cartoon commentary or review or whatever you want to call it. You've been through a rough patch, but your channel's been very successful. I'm very glad to have been a part of it, and I hope to be part of your commentaries, or at least a few of the next 500 cartoon commentaries you'll do. And, you know, I don't know how you've done it, but I know you've done it! Woo!
Heel erg bedankt, Fox. Hope I said it correctly. And now for my good friend, Eli Copperman. Take it away, Eli.
Hey, Anthony. Wow. 500 videos. Or at the very least, 500 cartoons. That is fantastic, man. You made it. Man, I'm pretty sure the original Warner's cartoons are at least 1,000 in total, and if that's the case, you're pretty much at the halfway point. Man, that is utterly fantastic. I gotta say, man, it's been incredible being a part of this fantastic voyage. Isn't there a movie called Fantastic Voyage? But point is, it's been a lot of fun being a part of the Hobo Gadget Band. I've enjoyed working on several videos with you. It's a shame that the videos can't be like how they used to be, but this new format is working pretty darn well. It's a good mashup of a review of the films and shorts, and just general factoids and all that. Kind of like the animated movie guide and how they did that. Thank you, Jerry Beck. Regardless, I hope things are going smoothly. I know things aren't going too well with the new lockdowns and variants going around, but you know what? Things can only get better as long as we're careful. So here's to 500 more fun cartoons to look at, regardless of what the cartoons be.
Thanks, Eli. And here's my good friend, Luke Perkins.
I just want to say congratulations. You have done some great progression so far, even though some of the commentaries you did were struck by copyright. I loved doing them. I love talking about what are great about the cartoons. I hope to be in a few of them sometime. And by the way, tell Scott I said hi.
And here is my good friend, Emmanuel Cruz, who's joined me on quite a few of these videos. He now has a new name, apparently, Bobo Cruz. So take it away, Bobo?
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cruz, also known as Manny Cruz, also known as Bobo Cruz. I just want to congratulate Anthony's Animation Talk for reaching 500 Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies commentaries or now reviews. Thanks a lot, Warner Brothers Legal. So Anthony, it's been a blast not only watching your commentaries, but eventually you gave me the honor of coming on to them and becoming a friend of mine, even though we live in completely different time zones and much different circumstances in where we come from. So again, I just want to say congratulations. Keep up the great work. I wish you much success, not only for this channel, but for everything in your future. And most importantly, just play the cartoon. I'm just kidding. Do what you need to do. Enjoy, brother.
Now, of course, I can't forget my Canadian brother, Blue Genocide, who begged me to come on this video. He absolutely begged me. No, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. So here comes Blue Genocide.
So, Anthony has finally reached 500. That's pretty hard to believe, you know. Now, if you told me that he was turning 500, I'd believe that, but, you know, I'm just kidding. Anyways, Anthony, congrats on making 500. You know, you're kind of at the best point of the Looney Tunes cartoons right now. You know, we just finished the Clampetts, and you're going into the early McKimson stuff, and, you know, Chuck Jones, Friz Freleng are really getting to their stride here in this series of cartoons. But the thing is, I want to say this, is that, you know, you may be in the good stuff right now, but it's not going to be too much longer until we're back into the Speedy Daffy cartoons, the late 50s and early 60s. And I am not looking forward to those at all. But, I mean, you're the one that has to do them all. So, anyways, congrats on making it this far, you know, all that great stuff. And I'll be there for the next 500. So, have a good one, man.
And lastly, my good friend SC McPeter just dropped by with a very quick message.
Hey, congrats on 500 videos. I've been watching much of this time, and I'm so proud to see it get this far. Again, congrats, Anthony.
And just a few extra shout-outs here as part of my journey to number 500. Steph Stilley, wonderful person. She taught me a lot about music in these cartoons. Austin Kelly, my partner in crime on the channel, making sure I get all the facts correct. And Devin Baxter, amazing person. And, you know, yes, I don't retain everything you say to me, buddy, but you know what? as long as I retain something, right? That's the most important thing. And, of course, thanks to everyone featured in this video and all of you lovely viewers and all my friends and family. So now back to Keith Scott. So, yeah, so with this number 500... we'll wrap this one up here very closely. Sure. I mean, I'm so glad you joined me on this wonderful celebration, Keith. You know, but,
my pleasure.
And I know you know exactly how I sounded like when I finally reached 500, right?
Yes, exactly. You're up to number 500. Only another 500 to go, Anthony. So remember, keep smiling.
Wonderful. So yes, here's another 500. Yes, the commentaries will be, the early stuff will be back up in some way, but from here on, all reviews. So thank you all so much for your support from the first 500. Yeah, here's another 500 with growing pains to be the next one. So thanks for listening, guys, and until next time, take care.